you?
Got any money?
Money? No, I don't have any money.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to No More Room in Hell, number 74. This is Mike, and joining me as always, it's Mr. Venom. What's up, Venom?
Greetings and salutations, Universal Monster aficionados. Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. I'm actually healthy. I had today off, I'm just I'm in a good place right now. And it's a little chilly in Southern California, but you know I'll deal with it. I didn't even leave the house today, so all is well. How the hell you doing, Mike?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Just a lot of podcasting for me today, so I'm ready to crank out the last show of the day slash evening, probably evening when we'll be finished. But other than that, just living life, watching movies, buying movies, probably too many. Stupid prices of movies now, what are you gonna do? But also with us, it's Derek. What's up, Derek?
Want a date? Looking for some action?
Got anybody?
Oh man. All right. And then also we managed to wrangle another guest to the No More Room in Hell show. Listeners are probably already familiar with him from Cinema Beef and other various shows through the years. That would be Gary Hill. What is up, Gary?
Hey, yeah, I'm here on a Sunday when it's probably 75 degrees in the city of Indiana right now. It's beautiful outside. I could be gonna go down and go find some strange, but I'm hanging out with some dudes right now on the internet. That's cool though, you know. I love these guys, you know.
Oh, there'll be plenty of strange to discuss in a
I
little
wish it was
while.
75 here.
Right? How are two of us in Southern, or at least two of us are in California, yet it's Indiana that has the warmest weather? What the hell?
Yeah,
Well,
it's
Monday is
crazy.
supposed to be 80 and Tuesday is supposed to be 45. If that tells you anything, that it's got bipolar PMS attitude, this freaking weather. So
Nice.
Yeah, I
Oh.
looked at my weather app. Right now is like a brief reprieve of like nice weather until it shoots up into what I would usually expect this time of year throughout this upcoming week. So I'm enjoying it now and dreading my energy bills probably for the next 5 months coming up. But
My wife said
Gary,
it. Yeah.
Gary, you know what happens when you return to podcasting? Naturally, people are gonna reach out and say, "Hey, why don't you come do our podcast too?" And here you are. Thanks for joining No More Room in Hell. How's it going?
oh, it's going, man. Just yeah, it's fine. I'm doing fine. My mind's doing fine. Show's doing fine. I'm excited about many things, including a cartoon reference I'm going to make during one of these reviews. That nobody else will probably make, but you know, I'm going to do it because I want to. You know,
Yeah, it's nice to see Cinema Beef back, and you guys. Well, I say you guys, but I guess I'm a part of it too.
you're a
But
part of it too, yes, sir.
I guess the collective, I would say, has been getting them released on a pretty steady schedule. So that's cool to see as well.
It's trying to make it happen. You know, it's my way of bringing all you guys in to keep the family together, if you will, because you get busy with things, and it's important to reach out to people that I actually like to say, hey, you want to do something? Let's do it this Thursday. Speaking of what you're talking about on the show, you know, we're gonna do this Thursday. It just yeah. Happy Mother's Day is all I'll say about that, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of nice too, the system of like just having a bunch of people as potentials for each episode. That way you can just kind of keep it going, in the event that some people have other things scheduled, as we all are old now and have life things.
Yeah,
that,
old. Thanks for reminding me.
Derek,
Shut up.
you're approaching old. Like the rest of us are firmly in
Yeah,
that
but I
range.
already feel it like changing in my body, and I don't like it.
Well, changes in the body is like a theme for tonight's show, it would seem. So
Well,
that's
when you start to get weird hairs down there, Dirk, you know, these things happen, okay? And you
I
know,
wake up and my head's attached to like a woman's body. You never
Oh,
know.
hey,
much more on that later. But we will start with catching up on some things we've been watching. There might be some 2026 stuff between the four of us, because we've actually had a decent amount of releases that have been unable to be covered on Fresh Cuts just due to the format of the show. So we'll kick it off with Venom. What do you got up first?
All right, the first movie I'll talk about is from 2026. It is a recent release. We actually got a short theatrical run out here in LA. It was probably in theaters for like a week before it showed up on Shudder. And this one is The Mortuary Assistant. This is what I did see this in theaters. But I for some reason I didn't bring it up on the last show, even though I had already seen it at that point because I had kind of forgotten a lot about it. But I did watch it again after it dropped on Shudder, so I can actually finally talk about it. And yeah, I got to say that I actually enjoyed the journey on this movie. It is a little bit of a slow burn, so prepare yourselves for that. Anybody who wants to jump into this. Unfortunately, the movie has a poll 0.8 on IMDb, which I think is an absolute travesty because, like I said, I enjoyed this movie. Now, I understand that I'm biased. I like slow burns, but I also like when the slow burn has a big payoff. And unfortunately, that's where the movie is kind of lacking. I was on board for the atmosphere, the tension. Obviously, it's called The Mortuary Assistant, so the majority of the film does take place in a mortuary at night, as you would, kind of assume, very Autopsy of Jane Doe, if you will, though this movie wishes it was anywhere near the level of Autopsy of Jane Doe. Basically what we have here is the titular mortuary assistant. The movie starts with her getting her test to be a full-fledged mortician. She passes that test and she is now able to work alone at the mortuary. And on her first night alone at the mortuary, of course, stuff happens, and I'll leave it at that. I'll say I thought her performance, our main protagonist performance, was pretty good, played by Willa Holland. That's Rebecca. The character's name was Rebecca, played by Willa Holland. Our mortician's named Raymond, played by Paul Sparks. And then we do have how can I put it, a tangible villain in this one. This is definitely not an implied horror. We have an actual I guess I could say, demonic creature, if you will, without giving away too much of the story. But yeah, like I said, I was thoroughly on board for this one for the first hour and I'd say 20 to 25 minutes of the total hour and a half runtime. It was the ending that left me a little sour because the ending, like, she makes a decision that makes sense, but what drove her to that decision, I just found a little hokey. That's all. I will say I like the design of our antagonist in this film. Great big, demonic looking eyes with no eyelids, a big toothy grin. It's very traditional demon looking, nothing that's going to break the mold by any stretch. But overall, like I said, atmosphere and tension worked for me. What little bit of horror set pieces we get throughout the film also worked for me. I just wish that the ending was maybe a little bit more impactful and didn't, I don't know, kind of lean into the hokiness a little bit of the demonic design and just, her reasoning behind the decision that she makes at the end of the film. So I still would recommend it. It is currently playing on Shudder, so if you have access to a Shudder account, I would say it's worth a watch. It's 90 minutes, so it's a quick watch, but that 90 minutes does feel like 2 hours plus to some people, as this is a slow burn. So, I'll leave my little mini review at that and ask if any of my co-hosts saw it and what they thought of it. I gotta assume at least one of you saw it.
I have not yet, but I know what movie you're talking about. It's in my list.
I haven't. It's on my short list. Man, the negative reaction has scared me away.
Yeah, I don't understand the negative reaction. I mean, a 3.8 on IMDb, just for the acting prowess and the filmmaking prowess alone, it doesn't deserve a 3.8. So I'm not sure what the hell movie people were watching. And like I said, I do like slow burns. So, I understand that I'm biased. So
yeah, there's no way I'm not going to get around to watching it. Because I think, just for the fact of 2026 due diligence, it needs to be watched eventually. I think I just kind of deprioritized it because there was a point in time where anytime Shudder put like a new 20 or whatever year we're in, a new release on there, I would like bump it up because it's like, oh, an opportunity to watch like something new on VOD without having to like scour around for it. But I think it's been like a combination of Shudder not always bringing in the best stuff, and then like it seems like people really don't like it, but it's gonna get watched. So we'll
I mean,
see.
like I said, I can see why people don't like it. It's definitely not for everybody, but for whatever it's worth, it worked for me. Maybe not the ending. Like I said, I wish the ending had a little bit more punch to it, but the ride was fun. I enjoyed it. So
I I recently logged back into my Shutter account and I couldn't tell you what's on there. I know they dropped the Tales from the Crypt. We're all excited about that, and
mhm.
you know, so one day I'll get around to it because it's hockey playoffs, guys. So I don't got a whole lot to talk about what I watched. You know,
I understand, my friend.
I was like me with
I'm
the NBA recently. That ended
exactly.
badly.
That's what I was actually about to say. Yeah. I mean, I do enjoy the NHL playoffs, but my LA Kings already got eliminated, so I'm not as interested. But the LA Lakers are still in it. So in the NBA playoffs. So yeah, I have been busy with sports myself.
Cool. All right, Derek, what you got up first?
Yeah, there was a speaking of like Shudder, there was a movie on there that I checked out because it had some familiar faces in it, and that's fucking Night Patrol. Yeah, this one has Justin Long in it as a cop. Uh he's kind of an asshole cop, but he's a cop. Uh yeah, it takes place in LA, and it's kind of like this like about this night patrol. All the cops want to join it, and the fucking kind of like an urban horror movie in a way. That's kind of the way I would describe it, where you find out what the night patrol is. Uh, Pretty much, yeah. They're fucking vampires. They're kind of weird vampires, if you ask me. They're kind of like Blade 2 vampires at the end. But yeah, it was a movie that I actually watched in parts because not just because it was bored or anything, just fucking shit happening as it always does in my life. But uh, I enjoyed like the ride with it. I kind of liked that the movie was in chapters. It kind of broke it up for me in that sense. But weird movie, like some of the aspects of it where you actually seen Bloods and Crips fucking join forces to fight fucking vampires, you know. But it had a fun cast. You had like fucking CM Punk as one of like the
oh,
fucking lead vampires.
I have
He
things to say. Trust me.
Yeah, it was it's kind of drawn out in some aspects of it with some of the plot points, but fucking the ending was fucking bloody, but you know, yeah, it was okay. It wasn't like essential viewing by any means. It was all right.
People are sucking this movie off real hard on the internet. Like it's the best things of sliced bread. And to be honest, I made about 20 minutes in and I didn't watch anymore. And
Yeah,
that's not a fair assessment, obviously. I watched the whole thing. But a lot of Phil Brooks, CM Punk face acting in this movie, and that doesn't work for me because he's trying to be really serious, but he's not good at it. And it felt like Colors, but as a really shitty version of Colors. So
yeah,
I didn't want to watch anymore. So there's that. You know, I'm gonna go back to it though. I promise.
yeah. Some of like the like not to be racist or anything right now, but some of the African American actors in the movie were kind of like playing like hokey fucking versions of like a more over the top version of like a hood movie, kind
Oh,
of
they
in a
never go back
way.
to that, Derek. Come on now.
Yeah, but other than that, it was like after like the second part of it, it kind of ramped up, especially when you got fucking Dermot Mulroney in there, fucking being like the head vampire. That was kind of cool. But yeah, Night Patrol. Worth a watch if you haven't watched anything in a while.
Yeah, I caught that one in the theater and I thought it was decent. Some people like I think Gary said like really, really love it. I thought it was okay. I did like the premise of it. Execution kind of okay, but I found the movie to be decent.
Yeah.
Yeah, me
What
too. Pretty much the same as Mike. Saw it in theaters out here in LA. I thought it was a little long-winded at times.
Yeah, there's the only thing wrong with it. It was like long-winded in some
Yeah, a
scenes.
little bit. I mean, well, I don't know that it was the only thing, but it was the most glaring thing, definitely. But overall, yeah, I thought it was, above average at best. Nothing that I'll praise necessarily, but a fun one-time watch.
Yeah, for sure. Good shit.
All right, Gary, as I finagle my cat from walking across the laptop, what do you got up first?
Yeah, I've been there, man. Trust me. The door is closed, so Duchess can't come in here. Uh, um, a few things I'll mention. One I mentioned we were due for the show, but the show never happens. I'll talk about it right now because I don't know when we'll get to that show. So eventually we will. I watched The Fan from 1982. That's Lauren Bacall is in this film. Maureen Stapleton and a very icy Michael Biehn is in this movie, and basically this is her big comeback to Hollywood. Lauren Bacall, and she plays an actress who's has a obsessed fan, played by Michael Biehn, and he's doing his best to get be her number one fan by murdering her and hurting everybody around her, and um that's the true highlight of the film is the Pino Donaggio score for one thing, and his performance as this stone cold killer because I love Michael Biehn, but he hasn't played any role like this ever besides this role. Um, so if you want to watch Stone Cold Michael Biehn, go watch the Fan from 1982. It's a decent time. I was really surprised by it.
Nice.
Um, what else I watch? I watched. My phone just I had the link open. Sorry. Because I want to end with something else. Spirits from 1990. This is our Fred Olen Ray joint. Um, I love Fred Olen Ray. I love the cheesiness of him, everything about him. Got two of my queens in here. Michelle Bauer and Brink Stevens are in this movie, along with Eric Estrada as a priest. And this is basically his answer to Prince of Darkness. You know, they go into to this I forget whether it's a house or a church, I forgot what the hell they're doing, okay? But there's ghosts about, there's a succubus about, there's Michelle Bauer as a priest, and then there's bondage about. It gets wacky really fast. So if you could find Spirits, which is probably very hard to find to watch, but it's probably on YouTube somewhere, 1990, directed by Fred Olen Ray, who, along with David Dakota, making Hallmark films now, which no hate in the game at all, but that's what they do now. Um, go watch this wacky fucking movie you probably never seen because it's probably gonna show up on a new project that I'm gonna talk about towards the end of the show, I'm sure. But I'm looking forward to talking about with Big Bill. That's gonna be coming sooner rather than later. Talking about Spirits from 1990. What else? Oh, that last thing. I'll do one more thing. I revisited Old Friend on Saturday night. Because I don't have MeTV with our Hulu with live TV. We pay $90 a month and I can't get a local channel. It's freaking crazy. I digress though. I use his Sling TV. He uses my Shutter. So I was able to watch MeTV on Saturday night and I watched Frankenstein. Was it in the Creature from Hell? Was that the movie? The last one in the Hammer series? I forget.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's Monster from Hell. Yeah.
Monster from Hell, yeah. Peter Cushing. I watched it on Svengoolie, and I loved him since I was a boy, watching him on the Coes Zone on local Fox TV, Rich Coes, and I missed him. And I watched the show, and I realized why I miss a guy like Svengoolie, aka Rich Coes, if you're nasty. He's local, yeah, he's well loved around here. He used to do a show called Stooge-a-Palooza where he curated Stooges episodes, put them on TV in like theme nights. My father was a fan too for that reason. And yeah, it was good to revisit Spen and see his new people. I've never seen his new cast of characters on that show. So and they're not that annoying. So there's that. But yeah, that film, if you don't know, it's pretty much your basic thing. Dr. Frankenstein is still alive. Befriends a medical student who is literally stealing body parts, and I forget why. Whatever. They they build a creature. They steal somebody's brain. That's with the professor or something in their midst, and of course, monster goes crazy, does crazy things. Played by David Prowse, by the way. This monster in this film. That's Darth Vader. PTSD. And that muscle-bound dude from Clockwork Orange. Stupid, sexy David Prowse. Again, I digress. But yeah, those things I enjoy. I was glad to revisit Spenguli. Like it's like an old blanket I've had since I was probably 10 years old. Good old Rich Coves. It was good to watch him on Saturday night.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah. I love
you guys all get to watch him now, which is great. He's syndicated now, so
good
I was
shit, man.
today years old when I found out that the muscle bound guy in A Clockwork Orange is David Prowse. I did not know that. Fucking Darth
Really?
Vader. Holy shit.
Wow.
I was on Kurt's live show and we kept saying stupid, sexy David Prowse.
That's like me when that was like me the other day when I found out Joe Perry did the Spider-Man theme for the
Uh,
animated series.
that makes sense though.
It does with all that fucking auto tone.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. Yeah, there's other stuff too, I'm sure, but like I said, hockey playoffs, it's not there's no ties in hockey playoffs, it's like not kissing your sister, so you either win or go home. And yeah, I've been invested in some games, so NHL playoffs are the shit. I love them. So there's that.
Nice.
That's it for me.
Cool.
Damn.
All right,
Michael.
so my first one up, it's not a 2026. It might be a cheat because I think it might be like the first time it's widely available in 2026. It's on Prime. It's a French movie from 2023 called The Deep Dark. And I heard about this. I think it was what the hell is it called? Colors of the Dark podcast. Elric spoke about it. So I'm not even going to pronounce the French title or the French translation of the title, but if you search for the Deep Dark, you'll find it. So the general synopsis is a group of miners. They're digging for whatever it is they're looking for, and the cave collapses in, so they're trapped down there. And one of the people with them is a professor, and he tagged along what he said was like research purposes of something that might potentially be down there to study. And they end up coming across this what I know we just saw a mummy movie, Venom. What's the term for like the coffin with a mummy in it again?
The top sarcophagus.
Sarcophagus. Okay. So they come across that, and of course then the movie takes a bit of a turn, and we get some character twists regarding like motivations for why they're really down there. And I would classify this as a mix of The Descent because of kind of the claustrophobic feeling underground. It's not like as like tight spaces as The Descent, as they're like actually literally like spelunking. So it's not quite that claustrophobic, but we are trapped in a mine shaft with like no plausible exit. And then I could almost say it's somewhat of a mummy movie, although not necessarily. Like I don't really want to spoil what happens to give away like what we get, but I thought this movie was great. Like I wish I would have seen it sooner to like maybe consider it for the year it came out, but sometimes with foreign movies there's just no plausible way to see it. Especially with like English subs or a dub or whatever. So maybe it was around, but in French language only, and then it would have been pointless anyway. But I thought this was super effective. Like great setup. I thought the characters were realistic as miners. I thought the professor was like a cool like a cool depiction of like that smarming professor who thinks like his work is more important than these stupid miners, and so that they create like natural feeling conflict between them there. And I think how it plays out, and once we get our creature, the design for that is really cool, and the practical effects are cool. And I would highly recommend this. I think you have to rent it on Prime right now, but our savvy internet users could probably find it if they wanted to. But if not, yeah, check it out on Prime to rent. Or I know eventually they'll probably put it on like Prime subs, so you won't have to like pay a rental fee. But if that's the case, and just put it on your list for later watching. I don't. Has anyone else here seen the Deep Dark?
No.
I have not. It looks like it's 2023 in France, but 2024 in the States.
Okay, yeah, that's probably correct. I had never even heard of it, honestly, until I heard it mentioned on the podcast. And I think it's because with the new Mummy coming out, maybe they were talking about like movies kind of like adjacent in recent years. So that's how it came up. So I was like, oh, sounds interesting. Um, but yeah, I thought it was great. So that's it for my first one. Back to you, Venom.
All right, my next one, we're sticking with 2026, and we're going to a subgenre that I have always been a big fan of, and that is ghost hunting horror. Anytime there are movies with ghost hunters going into an abandoned building or a perceived haunted building, and of course, since you're watching a horror movie, you know that shit's going to hit the fan. I know Grave Encounters is, one of the more popular ones. And then, of course, all the TV shows, Ghost Adventures, and stuff like that. But this one, unfortunately, is not a great version of this subgenre. This one is called Do Not Enter. This is an American release. It's an American production, but the movie is filmed completely in Bulgaria on location. So I mean, you do have some like local Bulgarians, given the movie a little bit of that local flair, that local color, if you will. But for the most part, the main actors in here are all, white Americans, basically. And I've already said that this is a ghost hunting movie. Basically, the short version of the premise is that some ghost hunters who have a YouTube channel that's losing subscribers, so it's on the brink of being demonetized. They decide that they need to find, a really good place to investigate. One of them hears about this hotel right on the water in Bulgaria, where basically a bunch of people died, and then the owner went missing. The owner of the hotel just completely disappeared. His wife was one of the first people that got killed, who was found dead, and then a bunch of other people were also found dead. But like I said, once the owner disappeared, they shut down the hotel, and it was basically shuttered for probably, I don't know, a good 20-30 years. So this group of ghost hunters go in there because of, the stories that they've heard about noises, and even from other ghost hunting groups that have gone into this building. But there's also a rumor of that owner leaving $30 million in cash somewhere in that hotel. So, of course, you're going to get the human antagonist. So you're going to have a group of ghost hunters, and then you're also going to have a group of thugs who are just breaking into the place specifically to find the money. Of course, the two groups end up, joining at some point, not joining in a friendly way, because obviously the thugs are armed, they all have guns and weapons and everything, whereas our ghost hunters obviously are only armed with EVP equipment and cameras. So obviously it turns into a little bit of a struggle between the thugs and the ghost hunters. And then eventually we do find out that there is an entity in the hotel, and I will leave the description at that and say that, yeah, unfortunately, I can't say too many good things about this one. mainly because of the writing and the acting. The writing is not very good. It's very, indie, almost like Asylum quality writing. It's maybe a half step above like Asylum or sci-fi original writing. The acting performances are great. Now, the saving grace of this movie is the fact that our creature is actually played by Javier Bodet. And for those who don't know, Javier Bodet is basically the European Doug Jones, whereas Doug Jones is the big American creature actor here who's obviously played, Abe Sapien in the Hellboy movies, the Fauno in Pan's Labyrinth. He's currently on Star Trek Discovery as one of the aliens on there.
I love him on that.
Yeah, Javier Bodet is basically the European version. I mean, he's Spanish specifically, the actor, but he's like the European version of Doug Jones, where he gets all of those types of creature gigs, I guess you could call it. Most famously, I think he was the Bye Bye Man. Not that the Bye Bye Man is a good movie. I'm just saying, since Javier usually does creature stuff in non-American movies, we're not as familiar with him here.
Yeah, like Rec, was like the last like possessed thing in the movie
Exactly.
Rec. Yeah.
Yep.
He's probably most famously known now for like Dracula and the last voyage of the Maida.
Oh, that's right. The Demeter. Yes, you're
Yeah.
right. I totally forgot about that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. So like I said, Javier Bodet, lots of credentials, really good. Just like Doug Jones, tall, thin, practically a contortionist. Like he can walk on all fours backwards, crab style, blah, blah, blah. So, he makes a really good creature actor. But ultimately, that's the only saving grace in this movie, is that the creature looks cool. The backstory of the creature, how the creature came to be in this hotel, like that's all decent. But like I said, it's just the acting and the writing that just brings this movie down. Like every time there's a good, and there are some good kills in this movie, but every time there's a good kill, literally there's bad acting in the very next scene that just brings it all back down to reality and reminds you that you're watching an independent B movie. So yeah. So I would say I wouldn't recommend this movie unless you're like me and you genuinely enjoy ghost hunting horror like I do. Like I said, I'll watch any ghost hunting horror no matter how bad, and usually I still find positives even with the bad ones. And that's the example here is Do Not Enter. Not necessarily a great version of this subgenre, but at least we get a great creature actor, good creature effects, a satisfying ending. I will say that. Whereas the last movie I talked about, The Mortuary Assistant, didn't have the most satisfying ending. This one at least does satisfy me. We get a very emphatic end to the story. So, there's no setup for a sequel by any stretch, blah, blah, blah. This one is currently available on VOD. I was able to watch it on a friend's server. So, like I said, this does not get a high recommend from me. I wouldn't even say, even if you are a fan of ghost hunting horror, I would say don't spend money on this. Wait for it to show up on a streaming service and then give it a shot. Like I said, I would only recommend it if you're into that subgenre, which I am heavily. So other than that, I'm not sure if any of my co-hosts have actually watched it, since I haven't heard anybody really speak about it in the last month or so that it's been out. But yeah, like I said, I can't really recommend this unless you genuinely love this subgenre. So yeah, that's Do Not Enter 2026. It's meh at best.
Okay.
Sounds like it. But yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it had a lot of potential. Like I was on board. The bad acting and writing is pretty prevalent throughout the first act, so you already kind of know what you're in for. But once the creature shows up and the kills start happening, there's some great kills. We get like jaws ripped off, limbs torn off. It's a very powerful creature that's inside of this hotel. So I know if all you care about is watching stupid people get killed in creative ways, then you might enjoy the movie. But otherwise, I would say this one you can skip.
Oh, I was looking at one of the reviews on IMDb. Scooby Gang meets Slender Golem.
I'll go with that. And actually, the acting in Scooby Doo is probably better, animated or live action. Just
That's like
goddamn.
I don't know. Oh, Freddie Prinze Jr. Oh no.
Yeah, sadly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it for Do Not Enter.
Wow. Speaking of found footage,
I was gonna say, go ahead, Derek.
yeah, I checked out the new one from Brandon Christensen. You know, he directed like movies like Stillborn, Z, Superhost, Night of the Reaper, The Puppet Man. He's done a bunch of stuff, mostly like Shutter movies. This guy is like the king of Shutter right now. But yeah, he did Body Cam, which was made in 2025, but it came out this year on Shutter and AMC Plus, which is what I have because I get more shit on there. I like it. But anyways, yeah, it follows like you actually following on a body cam of these two cops, which weirdly enough, since you brought up Brave Encounters earlier, Venom, one of the cops is played by the main guy in Grave Encounters, which is kind of cool. Uh, which was kind of awesome that he was in this movie. He plays kind of a dickhead cop. I kind of dug it because it's kind of like the slow buildup of what's going on within the movie. But man, the ending fucking I loved it. It was a great ending to like this kind of like movie. I was we've seen it done before, but the way that the movie flows with the storyline, uh actually the better of the urban cop horror movies that I reviewed today. Yeah, I enjoyed Body Cam a lot. It's not going to blow anybody's minds, but it's only an hour and 15 minutes, so it doesn't kind of overstay its welcome either. Did anybody see it?
No, but I'm a found footage guy, so I definitely will.
I know
Yeah,
that
I have
X
not.
X was right for quite a bit. He dug quite a bit, so I may actually watch it.
Yeah, especially with that Grave Encounters connection. That's kind of cool, right?
Was it the main guy from Grave Encounters?
Yeah, the host of the show. Yeah,
Oh, the asshole. Yeah, he's good at playing douchebags.
yeah, he's a douchebag cop in this. It's great.
There you go.
What's
Nice.
the name of it?
Body Cam.
Yeah, it's on Shutter.
Yeah, okay. I thought that's what was being referred to. Okay, body cam. Have not seen it yet. Kind of same as Mortuary Assistant. It's on the short list, just haven't got to it yet, but it will be watched.
Yeah,
Um,
I liked it better than Night Patrol, so there's that.
that is
Nice.
something. All right. You have anything else, Gary?
Besides mute myself, no, I kind of shot my load and not paid attention that it was doing that. The
Oh,
beginning.
rotating. Okay, no
Yes.
worries.
No worries.
It's all
My
good.
apologies.
We enjoyed.
Oh yeah, because I think on Cinema Beef, each person just kind of spits out everything at once, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, some shows do it like that, so
it's fine.
no worries. So for my next one, I watched this on a whim. I don't even know how it specifically came up in my YouTube recommends because although I'm glad it did, I certainly didn't do anything specifically to search it, but this one is called Poppy Gudia. And if you're kind of questioning yourself, what the hell is that? I was too, and um when
The
I
only thing
looked
that comes to mind is like a piece of Gouda with poppy seeds on it.
it's very cold. So I looked it up, and this is a Bollywood remake of Child's Play from 1996. So
Oh my god.
my initial reaction before I even started it was, okay, this is I think it runs just about 2 hours, and Child's Play is like, your basic, I think it's either 90 minutes or even sub 90 minutes, like 86 or something like that. So right away I'm like, well, it's a Bollywood remake of a horror movie, so that means this running time probably includes some dance numbers that extended out and maybe some romance, and I was correct. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes in these Bollywood remakes, the dance numbers are kind of like not so much impressive. Like, yeah, there's decent choreography, but they kind of break out and they're just kind of like dancing in the middle of like the scene, like McCall, the Nightmare on Elm Street one. I think it's like they just break out dancing at school. There's a dude in a Michael Jackson Thriller jacket in the middle of it
There
all.
is.
Yeah. But in this one, these dance numbers are so extensive and over the top. I actually kind of like dug it because they kind of fit like the horror theme of what's going on. They get very elaborate and have like ghosts and demons in them. And so I'm cool with the dance numbers in this. The other thing is they actually do somewhat of a decent remake as far as lifting exact scenes out of Child's Play and just redoing them. What makes this kind of funny though is the doll they're using. It's like the I guess the Walmart version of what a good guy doll would look like those cheap like Cabbage Patch ripoff dolls. And of course, they don't have the resources or like the special effects puppet teams. So it's like when they're trying to do camera angles to make like the doll walk or when you see the feet, it looks so awkward and janky that you just are laughing at it. But overall, it's like I appreciated the fact that they actually made an effort to really make it like Child's Play. Some of the dialogue is the same. Like I said, they take specific sequences and replicate them. So buried in this 2 hour running time, you actually do have a somewhat decent Child's Play replay. And I found it on YouTube. It is there, and I don't know if I'd say it's HD, but it's definitely like a good, decent looking rip that like you wouldn't have to struggle watching it. Like it's good enough. So Papa Gudia or Poppy Gudia,
Poppy
you're look
Gouda.
if you're looking for something a little bizarre but also a little familiar because it is a ripoff, I guess, then check it out. Especially, I mean, Child's Play is still kind of ongoing, and they did announce like a new one's going to be coming. So we're still like in the midst of this franchise existing.
Matt Cantor owns this movie on DVD.
Oh yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. I know this
Poppy,
movie.
Poppy, Poppy,
Papi,
Papi. Ah, thank you.
and then Gudia, two
Gotcha.
words. Um. So yeah, that's my second one. So back to you, Venom.
All right, for me, for my last one, I'm actually going to talk about one that I talked about on Gary's podcast, Cinema Beef, recently. Probably my favorite of the three that I'll be talking about this month, as I've already talked about two movies that mildly disappointed me with the Mortuary Assistant and Do Not Enter, but this one actually was kind of a pleasant surprise. This one's coming to us from 2024, and it's coming to us from Indonesia. And anybody who knows, if you know Indonesian horror, you know that a lot of the stuff they do is pretty goddamn awesome. A lot of it is based in folklore, local folklore, but it seems like Indonesia really has a great just DNA for making these horror films. So
Nightmare
this one,
Fuel.
yes, exactly. So this one's called Chromolio, Kromoleo, Chromolio, and that is the Indonesian word for pallbearer. Of course, a pallbearer being, one of the people that carries a coffin out of a funeral and to the cemetery for it to be buried. And this movie basically is a supernatural film. It is the story of a black magic practitioner who is deemed evil by the village, I should say, not even a town. They live definitely like in the jungle village. The members of this village decide they don't want this guy as a part of their community. So, of course, they make a collective effort to have him removed in the most vicious way possible. And of course, right before the antagonist dies, he curses the town, and that's basically where our movie goes from there. What ends up happening is a distant relative of that particular, black magic practitioner ends up returning to this village. And when that person returns to the village, supernatural things start happening again after they had stopped for a while. And basically, the revenge that this guy has kind of inflicted on this town is basically periodically, for no real reason, um, pallbearers, like literally spirit pallbearers, will show up carrying a spirit coffin, and inside of the coffin is, of course, our antagonist. So he's basically, orchestrating his revenge from beyond the grave, and that's about as much of the story as I want to get into here. This one, like I said, I actually had a really good time with it. There is some CGI with the ghost effects, so you do have to deal with that. But I thought they looked pretty good for what it is. I mean, all the scenes, obviously, all the scenes with ghosts and spirits are going to be taking place at night, so they're able to utilize the darkness to kind of hide some of the imperfect effects. But for whatever it's worth, it works for me. I really enjoyed it. The movie is only an hour and 20 minutes long, and it's currently available on Netflix. So it's a quick watch. It's a fun watch. If you like slower paced supernatural films, it helps if you like foreign horror, of course, and Indonesian horror specifically. So if you're a fan of like the Satan Slaves movies, things like that, I would recommend this one. This one doesn't come anywhere near either of the Satan Slaves movies, but it's still, in my opinion, this was a fun watch. Again, it has a very low rating on IMDb, but apparently I'm a lot more forgiving of certain subgenres than other people are. So, like I said, I would still recommend it. It's not a 10 out of 10 by any stretch. It's not a masterpiece. It would not have made my top 10 had I seen it in 2024. But as 2026 is kind of turning out to be a slightly slower year for high quality horror. I'm glad I took a chance to check this out. Like I said, hour and 20 minutes. I picked it specifically because it was an Indonesian film and it had an incredibly short runtime. And I literally only had about an hour and a half to kill before my poker game was starting. So I'm like, all right, let me just throw this on and see how it is. And I ended up actually enjoying it. I thought our main actress, the character's name is Zaya. I thought she does a really good job, wide range of emotions that she portrays throughout the film. I thought that the spirits looked good. I thought that our main antagonist, the black magic practitioner, looked great both in life and in his spirit form. So yeah, overall, I had a pretty good time with this. I mean, don't expect, much by any stretch. It is a lower budget Indonesian horror film, but for what it is, I thoroughly enjoyed it. So yeah, it's on Netflix, so check it out. Chromolio with a K.
Chromolio.
All right, what do you got up last, Derek?
Mine's pretty easy. I'm gonna talk about one of my favorite shows is back on the air, and that's From, and I watched the first 2 episodes of it, of season 4, and this is the only show where I end up screaming at my TV every week, and I love it for it because these characters are some of the most fucking bipolar characters ever on cinema. Is on this show. They do so much crazy shit on this show where I'm like, what the fuck just happened at the end of every fucking episode? And the show still does that for me. In the first 2 episodes, I'm like, yo, this shit's gonna end badly in the end of the season. I already know. That's how I feel every episode of this show. Then season 4 continues that trend, and I'm kind of curious where the rest of the show is gonna go. I love the whole idea of the supernatural aspect of it, and the town is actually fucking with them in a way, which I dig. If you don't know the aspect of the show, it's about this group of people that end up getting stuck in like this town and they can't leave, and at nighttime these humanoid looking monsters, as you would call them, come out at night and kill if they get to you. But yeah, it's going to some Lovecraftian stuff. There's a lot of like supernatural elements. There's a lot of backstabbing between characters, which is always fun in these fucking shows where you don't have. The only thing I could say about the show is the characters go back and forth where you're like, should I be rooting for this person because they did some fucking shitty shit in like a season or a couple episodes ago? But this is the show where this is the only show where I scream at my TV every week, and I enjoy it for that. And yeah, it has a great fucking theme song, cover of Doris Day's uh Soleil by the Pixies. I fucking love it. I actually, this is the only show where I actually watch the intro every time because I sing the song. Que sera, sera. It's fucking great. But good shit. Yeah, from
The
I
last
haven't
week,
watched it, but I've had a lot of people tell me that it's pretty damn good, including Mr. Lovecraftian himself, Brian Sammons, actually was one of the people that recommended it to me. So I will eventually sit down and watch it. I just haven't gotten to it yet. But you're not the only person who says that, Derek. I've heard multiple people say that about every episode, that every episode something fucked up happens, which obviously is piquing my interest as I'm a fucked up guy. So I guess I will have to sit down and check out From eventually.
and the last
yeah.
one TV was not horror related at all. It was the end of the middle of Fantastic Beasts movie because it upset me. So there's that, you know.
Nice.
All right. So for my last one, I was initially going to do the 2026 film Deep Water that I also saw this weekend, but I think there's a chance that after our next episode, which is Hokum, or the upcoming episode, I know Dawn was like talking about maybe wanting to do Deep Water because I don't know what else comes out like in 2 weeks, which I don't need to worry about right now, but I'll hold off on that one just in case we do it on Fresh Cuts because I would only be able to talk about very minimally at the moment anyway. So instead, I am going to talk about a movie that I watched as part of the prep for the Sin Bin podcast. So the monthly pick, I'll make our own pick, but then there's one that's like a shared pick between the only one anyone has to buy is like the monthly pick, but then it's kind of fun that everyone buys their own. But the monthly pick was Reviver 2 or Volume 2, I should say. And what that basically is Vinegar Syndrome. They're taking in like lost oddities of film or films from the archives that really never got released. A lot of times it could be like stuff that was damaged that they're restoring. I never got the first Reviver because I really only buy stuff from Vinegar Syndrome when I'm on their show. I mean, I'll buy something odd every now and then, but they're really kind of expensive, like as a distributor. Like, no shade to them. I'm sure the production cost to put all this stuff together, that's why they
Especially those
cost.
slip-cover condoms they put on those fucking things.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna bash them for being expensive. I'm just gonna say that because they're expensive, it's just gonna make me buy from them less, especially when it's like
Hey, I paid
lesser quality
$60 for
movies.
Reptilicus from them, so I understand.
Yeah, and then sometimes when they do their sales, it's like they list the original price at like 60, so then like $42 is considered a sale. I'm just like, damn, for like an 82, like a 82 minute like random horror movie from the eight, like no, man. Like if I'm gonna spend big on a movie, it's usually because I think the movie's really, really good, not just like a
I
cult
usually
classic
just
or
get the
something.
movies with out the fucking slip covers when they're on sale because they're way cheaper. Weirdly
Yeah,
enough.
true. But anyway, so volume two, I from what I heard, volume one of Reviver was like a bunch of like random like shorts, like 30, 40 minute stuff like put together as kind of like a collection. But Reviver two, and you really don't know going in until people start getting their delivery and then they'll start, talking about what they got online. Reviver volume two was two Filipino movies from I believe it was either 1964 or 1965. The first one was called The Horror from Beyond, which was kind of like a monster movie. Um, and I thought it was pretty good. But the second one called Paradise of Terror, I thought this one was like excellent. Like to me, this made the set worth the money. And basically, this is World War II or it takes place during World War II. They all parachute down to the jungle for some type of mission that we don't really know what it is, and they land and they're traversing through the jungle and they come upon a house. They go inside the house, and suddenly creepy things start happening. Now, the way I would describe this, which I also have heard from other reviews online, it feels like an extended episode of the Twilight Zone, and that's like right up my alley. And any watcher of the Twilight Zone knows that there's lots of episodes dealing with soldiers from World War II, the atomic era, kind of like abstract mysteries kind of going on with like, is this real? Is it not? Are we dead? Are we not? Like, what is going on here? A lot of like issues with like guilt or just horror, or the horrors of war that reflect. And there's a lot of that going on in this one. Like, I don't really want to spoil too much of like literally what happens once they get in this big house, but man, it was really well done. The sound is good, and the restoration made it really look good. They're just Blu-ray, they're not 4K, but they look fantastic and they sound fantastic. And the fact that you get two full-length features, and you could tell, I think they're from the same director because some of the like one of the actors, he's in both of them and he plays basically like a similar character. They're not the same, they're not related in any way. He just happens to be playing like a soldier in both of them, a Filipino actor. And yeah, this one, it's about 85 minutes long. And like I said, if you're into your horror with a little bit of like Twilight Zoney mystery, I would say this is right up your alley. It's right up my alley. I gave it a 4.5 on Letterboxd, so you can imagine how high I thought of it. And that's the cool thing about the one thing Vinegar Syndrome does with film restorations, because like this has never been made available before. It was just never. It wasn't even released anywhere. It's just in their kind of archive of footage that I think on the Blu-ray they do have interviews of like how they came across it. I think it was just one of those things that was like handed off to them at some point, and they're like going through all their stuff, and they're probably making the decision themselves, like what's worth it to try to actually restore, what can we actually salvage, and what's like something that's like sellable to people. And I thought they hit a gold mine with this set. So that's the Reviver 2. I was so happy with Reviver 2. I almost am willing to like blind buy Reviver 3, even if I'm not doing the Vinegar Syndrome show. But I think because one, like 2 was so much better than 1, it might be better to just like wait till people get it and then kind of say what's in the set and
Reviver
make the
2.
decision there. But yeah, Paradise of Terror is my favorite of the two, but the Horror from Beyond is also good. So if it hasn't sold out yet, I would highly recommend picking up a copy for any
Okay.
physical media collectors.
Yeah, maybe when I get paid.
Derek, you did see Hokum, right?
Yeah, I love Hokum.
I was gonna say,
Well,
without spoiling anything.
Literally
on the-
anything. I haven't seen it. Don't spoil anything. Give your thoughts. That's fine.
I love it.
Okay.
It's my favorite.
I mean, I've really been looking forward to this one. I mean, I love this director. I love the first 2 movies.
Plus Adam
director
Scott.
put out. Yeah, and I love that this is a shared universe. So I am absolutely looking forward to it. I'm probably going to see it tomorrow night and maybe one more time before our review on Thursday.
I kind of want to see it again too. I hear you.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna refrain 100% because I'm afraid if I like start talking about it, I'm gonna accidentally slip on something I shouldn't. Why? Since Venom hasn't seen it. Plus, I'm gonna be talking about it extensively pretty soon anyway. So just don't look at my letterbox, man. I'm not that I necessarily think you do anyway, but
Nope.
avoid.
you
I haven't
spoil
been on
shit?
Letterboxd in years.
Yeah, I tried to start it back up, but then I fucking gave up again as I usually do. I'm like, fuck this.
It ends up being too much trouble. I mean, those of us, in the podcasting community, we watch way too many movies, and to have to actually go into Letterboxd, rate them all, do a short review, like that's a lot of time taken out.
Yeah,
of
that's
my
why I
day.
like good books, because it just does it for me.
There you go.
Like I wish it was more like that, where like Letterboxd knew what I was watching and just logged it in.
Nice.
Yeah, I've noticed that like for movies I know I'm going to be discussing, letterbox can sometimes be a useful tool for like note taking because I don't really scribble down or write notes when I'm seeing movies. And sometimes, depending on when we're recording versus when I go see the movie, some things can some of the details can get lost on me. But if sometimes I'll even do it in the car after I leave the theater, but most of the time when I get home, I'll just like go and to me the star rating is not even the important part. It's just writing down my thoughts and like if there's any specific things about the movie I have to say, just get it down, jot it down, and then when we're recording, I can like pull it up and just reference it. So I would say for me, it's even better for that than even just reviewing itself. But anyways, that's gonna wrap up the what we watch segment. News, I don't know. Tales from the Crypt is on Shutter now, if that's considered news. It looks like they are just the DVD rips though of the
Which makes
physical.
sense.
I got a little bit of news for something that happened out here in my neck of the woods.
Okay.
Last weekend we had a secret screening out here. Basically, and I didn't attend, mind you, not that I even had the opportunity to, but I had heard about it after the fact. Basically, there was a secret screening out here at the New Art Theater in LA, and no one was told what the movie was. Basically, a certain director invited a bunch of people that he knows, industry people, actors, friends, family, things like that, to this secret screening. Well, when they get to the screening and the lights go down and the curtain goes up, there's Joe Dante standing there in front of everyone. And he announces to the crowd that they are literally about to watch the never before seen assembly cut of the original Gremlins. So yes, the often thought to be lost assembly cut of the original Gremlins was actually shown in LA in a packed theater just last weekend. And I was able to collect up a little bit of information. Obviously, people have been fairly secretive about a lot of the extra stuff because as it turns out, this movie is over 2.5 hours. That's an hour longer than the original Gremlins. And from what I understand, this cut, which was the cut that Joe Dante intended to release to theaters, is solidly a horror movie. Now, a lot of people consider the original Gremlins kind of a horror comedy situation. Apparently, this assembly cut makes it straight horror. It is a horror film through and through. Some of the things that I found out about it, you don't get to see the first Gremlin for over an hour. He basically spends the first hour plus of the film developing characters. So we get a lot more character development on the family members, the girlfriend, Phoebe Cates' character, blah 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 blah. A lot more, the bitchy old woman from the bank, like all of that.
I hate that lady.
Yeah, exactly. We get a lot more character development, but we also get extended Gremlin scenes as well. The bar scene, the famous bar scene with all the Gremlins and Phoebe Cates, serving them drinks, is almost 15 minutes longer in the assembly cut. There's a lot more stuff going on. There's actual gore in this cut. Like there's actual like deaths. And the dog does not survive the assembly cut. If you remember, the dog kind of got pranked, if you will, in the theatrical version. Apparently, no. The dog does not survive the assembly cut.
Oh, that makes me sad now.
Yeah, exactly. But this cut also has other stuff missing too. Phoebe Cates' conversation about Christmas and her father in the chimney is completely taken out. And I love that because that's my least favorite scene in the original Gremlins. It brings down the pace. It brings down the mood. It's just fucking pointless. I hated it. So the fact that it doesn't appear in the assembly cut makes me incredibly happy. The cut was, of course, cleaned up. It was made presentation worthy. Basically, it came from an old VHS that Joe Dante found in his attic, of all things. That's why, the film was originally thought to be lost. But apparently, a few years ago, Joe Dante found a copy on VHS, gave it to the Gremlins Museum, which is out here in LA, and they took it upon themselves to clean up the VHS. So they literally digitized it, cleaned it up, added some score elements, things, some sound effect elements, things like that, and made it basically theater ready. Now, there's no talk of if we're actually going to get a home release of this, if he's going to do like maybe a digital version like on Amazon Prime or something like that, or if he's actually going to release maybe like a special edition. I don't know if the 40th anniversary has gone by yet, or maybe for the 50th, who knows? But hopefully we actually do get to see this. As of right now, there are no plans to release this. So I know I'm probably making a lot of people outside of LA jealous, but I didn't get to go to that either, unfortunately. I absolutely would have if I had the opportunity, but of course it was a secret screening, so no one knew what they were watching ahead of time. So there you go. There is a 2.5 hour plus version of Gremlins floating around out there. And I know there's a certain podcaster by the name of Scott Crawford who would probably kill many, many people to get a chance to watch that assembly cut, as Gremlins is one of his favorite movies ever. So I figure I'd bring that to the table, and fingers crossed that we actually get that on physical media someday.
The Schumacher cut.
I am curious to see if because I saw like social media posts about it, so I was wondering if like they were strategically placed to like try to see if there's interest, because I would be like, I have not bought it on 4K yet. I think it's been on my wish list, but I've just had other stuff higher priority. But if they ever like announce the possibility, then I would definitely hold off until being able to have access to like multiple cuts for sure.
Gremlins, the Dante cut.
I met him one time. He's a really humble dude. So it feels like, most things he doesn't think he's supposed to give a crap about mostly. Like, I love inner space, but I'm sure he knows it doesn't have the most fans in the world, but I have a good time with it. It's like I prefer Gremlins 2 over Gremlins 1. I'm one of those odd ducks,
I actually do too.
And
I know a lot of people, who do that.
And I told him, I was like, Joe, it's like the first one was successful. They gave you a bunch of money. You invited all your friends to the party. I respect the hell out of that dude. And that's how the movie is. He invited all his friends to make a movie, and incredible. But yeah, I just want a commentary with Joe. Joe is bad about producing commentaries for his movies, and I would love to hear a Joe Dante commentary on if that ever happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I could just hear the Jerry Goldsmith score from here.
And then one piece of sad news, rest in peace to Bo Starr, who played Sheriff Meeker in Halloween 4 and 5. So a legitimate Halloween franchise veteran passes away just this past week. So yeah, rest in peace to Bo.
He's with his brother Mike now.
There you go. Oh, yeah. Right. That's right. Mike Starr is dead too. Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Mike, he died a while ago. Didn't Mike Starr die like 20 years ago or something?
Something like that.
He does signings, I think, guys. Don't speak ill of Mike Starr. Come on, guys.
No, we love him.
Yeah, we love Mike Starr.
You guys are wishing death on him now, guys. Come on,
Kill the Irishman. Goodfellas.
I'm quite sure Mike Starr's still alive. Cabin Boy, not horror, but goddamn, I love that movie.
Yeah, he's the giant.
Oh, Cabin Boy is great. Chris Elliott's masterpiece.
These pipes are clean.
So since we started recording, did any streaming service announce price hikes again?
I know Amazon Prime raised the price on their ad-free service.
Yeah, it's like $5 now.
$6.99.
Oh,
fuckers! It used to be like $2. I think it was like $1.99 or $2.99 at most. So yeah, it doubled or more than doubled. That's a bit much. I mean, I'm an old man, so I can deal with commercials. I remember commercials quite fondly, so it's not a big deal to me. But I mean, sometimes, you just want to watch the damn movie straight through, especially if it's a very intense movie. You don't want that tension to be broken by a commercial.
Or subtitled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Subtitles I've never had an issue with, but commercials, at least for movies, have bothered me periodically.
I had to
But
rent that fucking another fake werewolf movie we watched fucking on this show that Mike chose. Fucking fucking because it was in fucking subtitles because tried to watch it on Tubi and fucking couldn't get into it and kept fucking missing shit.
Oh.
Spoiler alerts and my thoughts on Wolf Guy.
Yeah, I actually read an article that the reason streaming services keep raising the price, it's not simply about the higher sub fees. It's because they're strategically trying to push people onto ad tier plans because they actually make more off forcing people to watch ads than off the subscription fees. So they figure every time they raise the price, even only by like $1 or so a month, eventually more people like throw in the towel and are like, I'm just gonna go to ad tier because it's like a lot cheaper. Um, my thing is, I feel like, and Tubi has its detractors, but to me, if you're gonna have ads, there should be no sub fee because the whole point of paying the subscription fee in the first place, at least the way it used to be, was because you weren't gonna get ads. Like that was the whole draw of it. And then they decided, somewhere along the line, it was like, well, actually, if you don't want ads, you get to pay a new different fee. But at least, obviously with Tubi, you're gonna have to suffer through ads, and I don't even use Tubi as a go-to. If it's on anything else that I don't have to watch ads, that's where I'm gonna watch it. But at least Tubi is like upfront, like, yeah, you're gonna have to watch ads, but we're not charging you anything. So to me, that's at least a compromise of it's free
Yeah.
and with ads.
That's how I look at YouTube. I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube and I don't mind watching the ads on YouTube, but YouTube, they're a little bit more egregious because they actually have multiple tiers of ad-free subscriptions. Like they've got a regular one that's like $7.99 that gets rid of most ads according to their, documentation. So you'll still have to deal with some ads. It's like, why am I giving you $8 a month and I still have to watch some ads? And then you don't even tell me like what percentage of ads I have to watch. It just kind of irks me. And then they have the $20 version, which is truly ad free, like literally no in video ads, no pre or post video, like no ads whatsoever. And I'm just like, man, that's dirty. But at the same time, because YouTube is basically a free service, um, I don't get too bitchy about it. Like I actually am contemplating, because I watch so much YouTube, I'm actually contemplating getting one of the ad-free tiers, probably the lower one. Like I'm not popping another $20 in for just to avoid commercials. Like I said, I'm an old guy. I'm used to commercials. I watched them my entire childhood. It's not a big deal. But yeah, some of the ad-free tiers are getting a little dirty, a little money grubbing. But what Mike says definitely rings true, that they're probably making more money from you watching the ads than paying 7, 8, 9, $10 a month extra.
Hell, they fucking even fucking raised my fucking MGM Plus fucking subscription.
Yeah. Netflix went up. I know Netflix went up $2 for me. It's now $20 even. That's for non 4K. Because I used to have the 4K YouTube, but it hit $30, and I'm like, no, I'm not paying $30 for an app that I maybe use 3 times a year. So I went back to the regular HD one, which at the time was $15.99, but it's gone up $2 twice. So now it's up to $19.99 for just HD Netflix. Which, yeah, whatever.
We're paying for Adam Sandler movies, guys. That's all that is.
Oh, exactly.
But to be fair, I really like some of those movies, but I don't like all of them. So there's that. Yeah.
Sadly, I'll be the one to say I'm not the biggest Adam Sandler fan. Like I just in general, even SNL, like Adam Sandler, something about his style of comedy just has never done it for me.
He's better than Fallon, who laughs at his own jokes. So there's that.
Oh, valid. No, that's absolutely valid. But just his kind of man-child style of comedy, kind of goofy, which obviously, was perfect for that one. What was that? Billy Madison? when he was basically playing like a rich kid or something.
Come on, Ben. I'm show Grandma your cock and balls now. Come on, do it, man. You know, it's a great
Yeah,
bit,
so
though.
like I said, Adam Sandler's just one of those guys that's never done it for me. So I technically have not seen any of the Netflix movies because I have better stuff to do with an hour and a half of my
I
life.
did try to watch that one where he talked to an alien spider stoned once.
And then I was supposed to do the Halloween one. I think Hubie Halloween was the name
I
of it.
like Hubie Halloween. I do.
I was supposed to do that on Cut to the Chase, but that episode ended up getting postponed multiple times and we never got back to it. So I never had to watch it.
Yeah, I'd say check that out. It's a fun season to watch. It really is.
Yeah, maybe I'll check it out in
It's in
October.
this, and plus it sets up the Sandlerverse.
Oh, stop it. That's all I need is a Sandler verse.
And I would totally pay money for ad-free Tubi because Tubi's a goddamn gold mine anymore. You know, it's
Yeah, that's what's funny is that a lot of the services that I use most are the free ones. And I would be willing to pay for the ad-free Tubi, ad-free YouTube. I'd be down to pay for a lot of those if I could afford it, of course, which currently I cannot, but still.
Yeah. Amazon's got all my fucking money with their Amazon Music streaming. That's what I care more about. Not if I can have the fucking
free one day shipping though, brother. Come on now, you know.
Yeah, I spend a lot of money on Amazon. I gotta have Prime. Yeah. I mean, the Prime Video was just like an added bonus at the time, but now I use Prime Video more than I use Prime. So there you go.
Yeah, I also I like having Prime because most of my purchases now I use the Prime Visa and you get points back, and I use Amazon enough that by the time it hits like holiday season, I might have like almost a couple $100 in points because I try to not use the reward points throughout the year just to see how much I can accumulate. So that helps. And the shipping, and like you get like more percentage towards your point. Like if you order stuff and you're not like adamant, like, oh, I need this tomorrow, or let's say you're buying multiple items and you just agree to let them get delivered all together with which one takes the longest.
You don't even know how many Kindle books I bought just to get the $3 coupon to get $3 off a Kindle purchase.
Mrs. Venom was a Kindle lover many years ago.
I love it because I got the Kindle Color, so I read comics on there. So
nice,
you know, $2 a comic book's not bad for a fucking Kindle.
Not at all.
All right, well.
Speaking of comic books,
yeah, I think we've reached that point in the show to take a break before we come back and talk about our double feature. And I think it hasn't been mentioned yet, but yeah, so this rotation was my picks, and I was thinking about like all the recent remakes, reboots, reimaginings, whatever you would like to call it, of Universal horror or Universal monster movies in various forms. I don't need to list them off. Everyone knows they've been in some way. They never really stopped making them, but it seems like in the last year or so, 2 years maybe, we've just been getting a lot of it, and some of them really good. Like this isn't like a complaint about it or anything like that. So I thought it would be kind of fun to pull from the archives of some bizarre, oddball versions of the Universal monster movies. So with that, I chose Wolfguy and Frankenhooker, two very different interpretations of or reimaginings, I guess, of the monster movies. So we will be right back to talk about Wolfguy and Frankenhooker.
Need a date?
Looking for some action?
Yeah. I like those movies. I watched a Sonny Chiba movie lately called Wolf Guy. Have you guys ever seen this Sonny Chiba movie called Wolf Guy? And the best part about it was they interviewed the director, who I can't remember his name, and the whole time he's like, "Why are you making a special edition DVD of this?" He goes, and it's all subtitled, and he's just sitting there, this old, Japanese smoking a cigarette, just like, I have no idea, with a little fishing cap on. Like, I have no idea why anybody would want to watch this again. He goes, I did it purely for money. Sonny had a contract with these people. It is a terrible idea. It is awful. And then I had just watched it with this like, oh man, this is so kind of brilliant, avant-garde and cheap, but kind of cool. And I was from, film nerd 45 years in the future going, what an amazing piece of work. And he's like, right. What? Why? This is shit.
1990, the makers of Basket Case and Brain Damage bring you...
Want a date?
Frankenhooker. Jeffrey Franken has a plan.
I just want to bring him back.
He has the ingenuity.
We need female body parts.
He has everything he needs, except the raw materials.
Just hold still. Fix it. Oh my God. Bunyan!
Wow! Jeffrey's creation is alive.
Looking for some action?
Oh, yeah! She's sexy.
Want a date? You going out?
I'm on my way home, but thanks anyway.
And she's sutured to please.
Listen, I'm looking for a very tall, attractive woman. She's purple. She's got fresh flowers on her. She's in the bar!
Now, a motion picture like no other. A tender story of love and romance.
Want a date?
A gripping tale of lust and revenge. Frankenhooker.
Incredible.
Some assembly may be required.
Yum, yum. It's time for a tasty and refreshing snack. Promise to satisfy your hunger, your thirst, your sweet tooth. So visit our refreshment center now. Let's go! And now, on with the show.
All right, we are back, and we'll just do chronological order. Makes sense. It's the norm. No reason to break it for this time specifically. So that way to have us talking Wolfguy. Now, I think there is like an alternate title. There's like a subtitle on it. It's not on IMDb, and I can't remember.
Enraged Lycanthrope.
Yeah, that's right. Enraged Lycanthrope. I knew Lycanthrope was in the subtitle, but
Japanese title is Urufu Gai.
Woofoo guy.
right? Yeah.
Woof woof.
So we have a very short synopsis here, which it's funny, but it almost fits because of the bizarreness of this movie overall. But
This movie got a 63.3 on IMDb. That's fucking crazy.
yeah, a man with a special power attempts to help a cursed woman. I guess we can get into that special power. Yeah, this is definitely an oddball one. I can see people being frustrated on a first time watch, expecting, if there's an expectation that, hey, this is going to be Sonny Chiba in a Wolfman movie or even like a werewolf movie. Because while there's some elements, I would say if that's what you're wanting out of the movie and it's hard to get past on a first time watch, you might be frustrated.
The fucking
But
poster makes it look like a James Bond movie.
yeah,
Yep.
really. Now, once you've seen it and you have a second watch going into it, it could make you appreciate like the other elements of what makes this a Wolf Guy movie as opposed to like what you were expecting. But I'm sure we'll get into all that. Let's on this one, let's start with our guest, Gary. Is this your first time watch? And
Definitely
what
a
did you think of Wolf Guy?
I'm sorry, definitely first time watch, and I remember seeing the box art for this many, many times on a table at a show, and it's just sitting there, me not knowing what the hell it is. But it's Sonny Chiba, so I figure there has to be some sort of goodness, and you do get some goodness in this movie. There is some of that, but the title is very misleading, and I loved it about this movie that when a film just jumps the shark, you don't know what the fuck's going on. If you have a gummy, take a gummy or smoke something before you watch this movie because it's gonna help your experience. When you start seeing phantom tigers and shit for no reason at all, and it looks really bad, and you don't care because what happens next is hilarious. Um, it's an odd mix of things. You got him versus the Yakuza. You have an odd 1970s. It's all over the place. You get like funky black exploitation music in this movie mixed with some other kind of music. Uh, Sonny Chiba is pretty great looking serious. So when you get down to the Sonny Chiba business, it looks good where he's flicking coins and killing people inside of a club or wherever he's at. He's in the back room somewhere. And I wasn't paying attention to plot. All I knew he was hanging out with a stripper who had syphilis, and that was the story. And she had a massive poster of somebody on her wall, and that reminded me of another movie. Um, Sir an expert, the part where he goes to their apartment, like, you know what this room needs? A giant life-size poster of Atlantic City. Hey, look, you got one. That kind of deal. That's a real side note there, but the whole idea that's called Wolf Cop is so strange. It goes by like the lunar moon, his powers, but his powers is to summon a phantom tiger that slices literally into people, and it looks really really cool. These phantom slices when the tiger does this thing. But I'll go back to the '80s again. My brain in the '80s. And I love this cartoon show still because it's so great. Filmation made a cartoon show called Brave Star that is about a Native American sheriff who has the power to summon certain animals to make him do things. So you got strength of the bear, power of the puma, or whatever the hell he says. It's really great. But the whole idea of him summoning this tiger, that's all I thought about when that was happening. Was Marshall Bravestar in the '80s cartoon. It's an odd thing to say and an odd connection, but you know what? It feels right. So I'm gonna go with it because this movie's all over the place and I had a great time with it. And yeah, I thought it was going another way, and then it went another way, and then you got to the end, and it went that way, and it's all over the place, and I'm here for it. So there's that.
That was the best
Sweet.
review ever.
All right, then how about you, Derek?
This would be a second time watch for me. And yeah, this movie's fucking bizarre because it's based off a manga, which I did some backstory, like backtracking of the actual manga. The manga is actually about a teenage kid. So loosely based on the manga in this movie for sure. But uh it's something, man. This movie, like the weird, like funky, like funk soundtrack mix. They even like one part of the movie, I'm like, is this the one Flew of the Cuckoo's Nest soundtrack? Like Mike knows exactly what I'm talking about, which but
They probably borrowed some shit if I had to guess.
they use the same instrument like to make those noises, but that's what it reminded me of, like sometimes when this movie was playing. But yeah, this movie's fucking weird and wild. And who would have thought the guy who hates superhero movies picked an actual like kind of superhero movie for us to review? Uh, good times. But anyways, my point is that Wolfguy is probably not my favorite of the Sonny Chiba library. I prefer like some of his more like grounded works, like Doberman Cop or even like the Street Fighter movies. But it's a weird one. Like I kind of agree with Gary. If you take some gummies and watch this movie, you might have a trip. But if you watch it sober, God help you. That's all I have to really say about Wolfguy.
All right, Venom, lay it on us. What'd you think of Wolfguy?
All right. Well, this might be a little surprising. Well, not this part. First part, yes, this is a first time watch. That's not all that surprising. The surprising part, I fucking love this movie. Like, I legitimately love this movie. First and foremost, this is not a horror film in any way, shape, or form. Yes, we do get some bloody kills, some cool claw mark, type aftermath shots, but for the most part, this is just a straight action movie, and I'm here for it. Sonny Chiba is amazing in anything he does. And yes, we still get great fights in this one. Obviously not of the caliber of, some of his earlier films and some of the films that even came after this. But, obviously this isn't necessarily a martial arts film. It's set in the modern day. It's set around organized crime and prostitution, strippers, the underworld, stuff like that. So obviously it's not going to be jam packed with martial arts action, but what we get is still great. I mean, anytime I get to watch Sonny Chiba fight six thugs, I'm absolutely in. No drugs needed. I was very happy to watch this. I was very intrigued with our female protagonist, the aforementioned, drug addict stripper who has this weird innate ability to take revenge on people, like Gary mentioned, the ghost tiger thing. I would have liked to have seen her actually transform into that, but obviously what we get on screen is her just disappear, and then we get the ghost tigers show up, and then the wounds kind of appearing on people magically. So
she's giving him syphilis with her tiger powers. So yeah.
I'm okay with that. Hell, spread the love. Obviously the story of how she got syphilis and her backstory is very sad. Obviously, she didn't start out as a drug addict by any stretch of the imagination, but obviously she played the hand that life dealt her, and unfortunately came up short. So now she is a loner, a syphilitic drug addict loner who nobody even wants to touch, because apparently the syphilis in 1975 was like a death sentence. Like, I mean, people treat it like it was like AIDS or something. The way that we treated AIDS in the early 80s, where you didn't even want to associate with someone who had HIV, it's kind of how these people are looking at syphilis, whereas syphilis is nothing, basically. Ultimately, it's not deadly, it's not life-threatening, you can control it, blah, 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 blah. I'm starting to sound like I have syphilis. Well, maybe I do. I don't know. I had a wild 80s, so
anyway. They almost talk about it like it's more a shame thing than like medically debilitating.
Yeah, but and obviously, that's a product of the time. It is the mid 70s, and obviously people aren't as knowledgeable on certain afflictions, things like that. So I understand it. I'm not necessarily railing against it. It's just kind of a weird thing to see. Whereas, if this movie was made in 1985, it would have been AIDS that she had, because by the mid 80s, syphilis was like practically a joke. Like, who cares, whatever, gonorrhea, syphilis, it's like, what's the statistic? 1 in 4 people has a sexually transmitted disease, and hey, there's 4 of us on this podcast, go figure. Anyway, so like I said, I like the backstory of our female protagonist. I like her abilities. It was a sad backstory. She was able to get some sense of revenge by the end of the movie. But like I said, anything with Sonny Chiba, I am on board. I mean, it's a sub 90-minute movie, which I'm also always on board for. And goddamn, this score. This is like the funkiest score. Like there's a blaxploitation movie from either the late 70s or early 80s called East Meets Watts. And this score is almost exactly the score from East Meets Watts. And I thought that was pretty interesting. But obviously, I mean, you can hear similarities to multiple blaxploitation movies. The One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest connection I did not make, only because I haven't watched that movie in a very long time. But yeah,
like
blaxploitation.
that weird like flute noise that you hear, kind of sounded like the main like music that starts at the beginning.
I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I'd have, like I said, it's not like in my head. So I'd have to like watch One Flew Over to actually, hear it and, get my memory jarred a little bit. But for whatever it's worth, I like the protagonist. I like the antagonist. Obviously, the way that the gang leaders were kind of utilizing this girl's power to take out their own enemies, people that owed them money, blah, blah, blah. I'm telling you, I liked about every aspect of this movie. Our female protagonist isn't hard to look at. The woman that comes in later who becomes Wolfguy's wife, also not hard to look at. I mean, this movie's filled with women who aren't hard to look at. So that
there's
always
lots
helps.
of tits on it. That always helps, man.
Well, yeah, I was trying to be a little more diplomatic than that, but yes, lots of tits. Derek spelled it out for us. So yeah, I mean, like I said, everything about this movie I love. The score, the cinematography, the fights, the basic storyline. The ending was satisfying. I walked away satisfied with this movie. Yeah, I mean, this one worked for me in every possible way. It's probably not going to go down at the same level as some of Sonny Chiba's more classic martial arts films, or even some of his American martial arts films, like the ninja movies, stuff like that. But for whatever it's worth, and I do understand that if you go into this expecting a Wolfman movie, you're gonna be disappointed because there is no wolf in this movie. There are no transformations. Basically, it's just he has the abilities of a wolf. He has the relative strength, awareness, hearing, eyesight, like all that of a wolf. And on the 15th day of the lunar cycle, he's basically immortal. Like he can't be killed. And one thing I liked about it, well, one of the many things I liked about it is that the full moon didn't have to be out. The finale of this movie actually takes place during the day, but it is still technically the 15th day of the lunar cycle. So he is basically invincible. And I did enjoy that a lot about this one. I mean, we never even got to see a night scene during the 15th day of the lunar cycle. So who knows? Maybe he gets even more powerful. But yeah, for what we got, for the hour and 26 minutes that we got, I thoroughly loved this movie. And it sucks that I have to actually praise Mike for bringing this to the table, because I know a lot of people probably would rail on him for a movie called Wolf Guy not really being about wolves or lycanthropy, at least in the classic sense. But I walked away absolutely loving this movie. Like I would probably buy this. Like I liked it that much. So yeah,
it was a nice addition by Arrow.
Nice. Yeah, there you go. I love Arrow Video. So yeah, like I said, I walked away absolutely loving this one. So yeah, good job, Mike, for once.
Yeah, Mike.
There's some weird cultural shit in this movie. I can't really explain it because I'm not for the culture, but there's that exchange again. Take your gummies, people, to where he sees that they're like in a tunnel or something, and the girl gets naked, and he lays down with her and says something along the lines of, "You feel like my mother, but also my sister," or some shit. I don't even know,
That's
man.
right.
Yeah, good old.
What the fuck are you talking about, yo?
That sounds like Toei, because this is the same company that made fucking Legends of Dinosaur and Monster Birds. And
and by the way, as soon as I saw that Toei logo at the beginning, I had an ear to ear grin. I knew I was going to enjoy what I was about to watch. So yeah.
If you guys haven't seen Legends of Dinosaurs and Monster Birds, and you think that soundtrack was kicking, yo, that takes up to another level.
Yeah, so the psychedelic funk soundtrack is pretty cool. The gummies will enhance that too. Yeah, this is really the definition of what a mashup movie looks like. Like it's martial arts, a little bit of horror, a little bit of detective noir, and then to lead your movie is Sonny Chiba. So it does like everything correctly. It's just going to be a matter for viewers whether the sum of its parts make it into a cool movie for them. I think some people, like we all seem to enjoy it, but some people will probably see like each puzzle piece of the movie
It'd be
adding
like,
up to like a puzzle they don't like, but I
yeah,
I tend to like it just because it has tons of elements of different subgenres I like all mashed up together.
yeah, like so they might watch this movie and be like, "What the fuck are these guys talking about?"
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be people that are stubborn and steadfast that don't care. It's called Wolf Guy, and there's like technically no wolf.
There's actually another movie that was based on the same source material. I was doing a little back search. It's called Hour of the Wolf. It was a Toho production, and
Oh.
actually one of the writers of that version of Venom is John Fudoko, Godzilla director. He directed like Godzilla versus the Sea Monster.
Okay.
Yeah, Godzilla versus Mega Godzilla.
Nice.
Yeah, so that
Mega
was kind of interesting.
Godzilla. Wolf
Any
Guy.
any movie with a Toho connection is okay in my book.
Yeah. I'm kind of curious to see how that one is. Like, I don't know if it's out, but yeah.
Yeah. So this was our enjoyable supernatural detective story about a phantom tiger curse before shifting shifting to a government sci-fi conspiracy. Oh man. So if that sounds interesting to you, it definitely delivers on all that.
Let's talk about hookers.
With so yeah.
Super crack.
Super crack, a big old bag.
Super crack, bound to happen.
All right. So yeah, that'll take us to the movie Frankenhooker, which is 1990. So the interesting thing, I mean, not maybe not interesting, but just for my own experience, this is one that like I remember being a kid and always seeing this on the movie rack in the video store and not knowing what to make. Like it didn't seem. I think I was too young because I would have been 10 when it came out, so probably 11 when it hit VHS stores. Um, I was I think I was too young at the time to get like kind of like the satirical humor in it. So I just thought like, what the hell, like Frankenhooker. But then like, a few years later, when you kind of have more context, I grabbed it to rent it and it's hilarious. And I think there's like a lot of elements in this movie that like not only is it just funny and gory and has good special effects, but it's actually a pretty good like Frankenstein reimagining, like just kind of like the trajectory of how it works and how our Frankenhooker character actually behaves once she's, I guess, resurrected or brought alive in that sequence, like what she's doing out on the town. And, she has her kind of super strength. She's walking in the clogs. Like, I just think this movie is a riot and it kind of has like everything you want in that era, like everything in that era of horror movies, this one includes. And Frank Henlotter, this is totally his type of movie. If you've seen other stuff from him, like Basket Case, I think all the Basket Cases, right? Street Trash,
Street Trash, Bad Biology, and Brain Damage.
Yeah, Brain Damage.
Yep.
I'm a huge fan of that one.
I kind of feel like with Henlotter, it's like if you get his sense of humor and his referential treatment to like other horror movies, if you like it in one of his movies, it's likely to transfer to like most of his films because that sense of humor shows up. Obviously, each movie to varying degrees, they're each their own thing. But I just think he has like a certain aesthetic that, like, if you laugh at one of them, you're going to laugh and have a good time at all of them. So let's start with Venom. on this one. What's your pass with Frankenhooker, and what do you think of it?
All right. Well, this is now the second time that I am reviewing Frankenhooker. For those who don't remember, I used to be a co-host on In the Mic of Madness with Rebecca, and we did a Frank Henenlotter series where we did or at least all of his main movies, per episode, except for Basket Case 2 and 3, which we combined into one episode since they're, so similar. But yeah,
it makes sense.
Yeah, we did Bad Biology, we did Brain Damage, we did all 3 Basket Cases, and of course we did Frankenhooker. So I'll be repeating a lot of what I said on that review because my opinions on this haven't really changed. And it's pretty much the same as Mike. I love this movie. I think this movie is endlessly funny. Now, this movie's not perfect by any stretch. I feel like it has some pacing issues. I actually wish that the creature appeared earlier. This movie is only an hour and 25 minutes, and our titular Frankenhooker doesn't show up until the 1 hour mark. That's a lot of movie to go without your creature. I mean, think about, the most recent Frankenstein remake, of course, Guillermo del Toro's Netflix Frankenstein. We don't have to go that long without any creature action, but here.
Or you wreck shop in the first 5 minutes of that movie.
Exactly. Yeah. We don't really get, the cold open we get here, we don't even get to see Elizabeth get chopped up by the lawnmower. It's done off screen. So, I've always thought that this movie needed more Frankenhooker action. I would have liked to have seen the creature created at the half-hour mark and then give me an hour of the chaos that she's causing and everything else. Maybe even give me more Zorro, because despite Zorro being a very fucked up character, I've always liked Zorro because yes, he's a pimp. I understand that. So just the mere fact that he's a pimp makes him a bad guy. But aside from that, he seems like a guy who genuinely cares about his hoes, cares about the money that they're making, cares about their safety. Think about the trouble that Zorro goes through to follow Jeffrey into Jersey to try to find out where all his missing hoes are. How many pimps do you think would do that? I think most New York City pimps would just move on and get a whole new slew of girls, but Zorro, did his due diligence to try to find out what happened to his girls. And I like that for whatever it's worth. Like I said, he's a bad guy. He's objectively a bad guy, but he's got good elements to him. It's almost like he's a pimp with a heart of gold, if you will. Except for the fact that he cuts Jeffrey's head off. But, that's a story for later in the show. But yeah.
Well, Jeffrey should have been dead the first 10 minutes of this movie when he was drilling his fucking holes.
Yeah, and that's another thing that I've never truly understood about this movie is the whole drilling in the head. It comes out of nowhere. There's
honestly,
no
that's where most of
it.
the pace and shit happens. If they just cut all that shit out, it would have just been
to an extent. Yeah, like a lot of the second act, I feel like could go. I thought that the well, not really an orgy, but the scene with all the hookers where he's taking the measurements, I always thought that scene runs way too long. Like, we get the gist of it. Yes, I understand why it's funny. He's sitting there measuring body parts, but you don't have to make me watch him measure every single girl's body parts. Like, that scene just takes way too long. And this movie is only an hour and 25 minutes. So for me to say that there's a scene in here that runs a little long, the movie could have easily been an hour and 20 minutes. But despite all that, like I said, my biggest complaint is always just going to be, I wish we got more Frankenhooker. I wish we got more of her with Johns, more of her with maybe, with Zorro, like maybe have her have some interaction with Zorro. And obviously this is a Henenlotter movie, so you're not supposed to question the science. You're absolutely not. But I always also found it really odd that that's Elizabeth's brain in that head, yet all of her memories are from the prostitutes. Are you telling me that arms and legs and torsos carry memories to the point where she remembers whole things that these prostitutes said right before their death? And it's like, that seems odd to me. And again, it's a horror movie, a low budget horror movie. Who the hell am I to interject logic into something like this? But like I said, it just always seemed odd to me because the brain in most Frankenstein adaptations, the brain is the most important thing. It's like he wants to get the best brain, a smart person, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, it always backfires on him, hence the nature of Dr. Frankenstein. But just the fact that Elizabeth's brain is in this body, but we don't get any Elizabeth lines until after she's killed a second time and regenerated a second time. So there are little things, little nitpicky things that I have with the movie. I wish that the exploding prostitute scene was bloodier, because there's almost no blood in that scene. Like, you've got prostitutes exploding.
Yeah, it looks just like blow up dolls that just blow up.
They look like mannequins, like store mannequins. Like, I don't know if anybody here has ever like cut a mannequin in half or broken an appendage off a mannequin. That's what the insides look like. Kind of hollow, but with some stuffing in there. And I just remember thinking, where is all the blood? I mean, these women are literally exploding into multiple pieces, yet there's no blood anywhere in the fucking room. It always bugged me. How expensive could fake blood be? I mean, it's corn syrup and some food coloring. Get on it. But anyway, at the same time, maybe this would have gotten a lot higher, like an adults only rating, rated X or something, if he put too much blood in it. So, maybe there's information that I'm not privy to that made him decide to keep this scene a little less bloody, but I definitely wish that scene was a little bit bloodier. I also, like I said already, I wish the scene where he's measuring their body parts was which is the same scene. It's just two halves of the same scene, but that scene kind of goes off a little long. I wish the creature was created a little bit sooner in the film so that we could have gotten more kills, more prostitute jokes, because we run through all the jokes that she has in like the first 5 minutes of her existence. So, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of that, more of Zorro, more of just the wacky New York street characters that we get in the movie. That one guy that goes down on her in the club and then explodes, like, what's his backstory, things like that. So despite the movie being nice and short, which I generally like, this is one that I kind of would have liked to have seen a little bit more added to it, more creature action, more kills, more blood, a little bit more character development, but mostly with the people in New York, because we get enough character development of Jeffrey, Elizabeth, and their family from the cold open at the birthday party. So that's enough for me. And that newscaster, holy shit, that newscaster. I can't tell you how hard I laugh at that newscaster every time. The shit that she is saying is so goddamn epic. Like, no channel would ever allow a reporter to say half the shit that she says. She actually calls Elizabeth fat. Like, who cares that she's fat? She's dead. I think it's just because it's kind of like that thing of having the perfect woman, so that kind of dwells into no, I understand that, but I'm talking about just the reporter.
The
reporter saying that a fat girl was killed by a lawnmower. It's like, who gives a shit if she's fat or skinny? A girl was chopped into pieces. It doesn't matter. And then, and that's just one example. Like I said, there's multiple things that reporter says on the newscast that I'm just like, holy shit. I'm like half laughing my ass off and half face palming. You know what I mean? So
yeah, no, I hear you.
But yeah, overall, I absolutely adore Frankenhooker. I adore Frank Henenlotter's entire filmography. Bad Biology might be the outlier, because that one is even weird, even for him. Like Brain Damage is fucking weird, and I love Brain Damage, but Bad Biology goes into places, the whole penis scene kind of threw me off in Bad Biology. If you know, you know.
Oh yeah.
But
written by Ari the Rugged Man.
Exactly. So like I said, I love Frankenhooker. Is it a 10 out of 10? Is it a masterpiece? Of course it's not. But growing up on the East Coast and remembering what old New York was like, I mean, half the reason that I watched the original Basket Case isn't for the horror or the kills. It's to see old New York. I miss old New York. I miss Times Square with all the adult video stores and the prostitutes. I mean, Times Square is like a family mecca now and has been since the 90s. But man, 70s and 80s Times Square and New York in general, the city was fucking alive. You know what I mean? And I loved it. Even though I was too young to really indulge in a lot of the debauchery, offered in 70s and 80s Times Square, I still love seeing movies that, you know, really, really show it off and just remind me of what old New York was like. I'm from Connecticut originally, and I did have family in New York. So I went to New York City multiple times a year. And yeah, movies like this, Henenlotter, I mean, you could tell that Henenlotter loves New York. I mean, even like some of the later Basket Case movies, he still did in Long Island. It's not New York City specifically, but it's still Long Island. So this guy definitely has a love of New York, and I appreciate that. As an East Coaster, as an original, you know, originally coming from Connecticut, I love watching Henenlotter movies, especially the older ones that really show off old New York. But yeah, I love Frankenhooker. I'll just leave it at that. I mean, I could talk for another hour if you let me. So I'll go ahead and shut myself up here and say back to you, Mike.
Hell yeah.
I mean, at the root of it, the movie's just hilarious, and it's like a good time, and like the fact that you get the gore and the practical effects and all that stuff. And I agree with your point, because the monster herself, she doesn't have nearly as much screen time as you think she does, because it's kind of seen as like iconic in the horror community. So like when you kind of go back and revisit the movie, depending on like how much you remember or how long it's been, it's easy to assume that like, oh, she's running amok all over the city for a large part of the running time. But really, all the creature stuff and like lots of the practical effects and extended stuff is contained to like the last 25 minutes. Really, they just pack a lot of it in.
And you can definitely, I'm sorry, one last point. You can definitely tell that this movie was made the same year as Basket Case 2, because some of the effects actually look very similar. Specifically the finale, when the prostitute monster comes out of the cooler, like there's elements there of Basket Case 2. Like I wouldn't be surprised if specific props were used in both movies, because I look at
sense because Gabe Bartolos did effects on both too.
Oh, and I love that guy. I actually know him. I took his effects course in college. Yeah, Gabe's a great guy. I love that guy. Total biker looking dude, but yeah.
He does look like a biker. I've seen him in a few interviews, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like what year was that? That would have been early 2000s that I went to his effects class, and I think he had just finished working on the Cremaster cycle, because I know there was like 6 chapters in the Cremaster cycle, and I think the last one,
if you say so,
I think there's 6. I could almost swear that there's 6. I mean, if people don't know what I'm talking about, Cremaster, spelled Cremaster, is basically just some very avant-garde cinema. Like most of them don't have any dialogue in them. They're just kind of artistic fare. I think the first one was the cheerleader one. So it almost comes off-putting because it's so brightly colored, and there's cheerleaders and blah, blah, blah. And then the second one was the gas station robbery. That's the one that starts delving more into horror. And then, you know, it kind of goes on from there. The individual chapters don't have anything to do with each other, but if you watched the entire thing at once, you can see some connective tissue. That's Bjork's husband. The director of the Cremaster cycle is Bjork's husband. I forget it. He's an artist. Matthew Barney, is that his name? I think it's Matthew Barney or Michael Barney, something like that. But that's Bjork's husband, for those who are interested. So they definitely are made for each other, because they're both very, very out there. But sorry, Mike.
Opened up his IMDb and fucking Bjork came up.
Exactly. So there you go. Sorry, Mike. I just wanted to add those extra points.
No, that's cool. I would say like it'd be cool to find and discover, if it even exists, like if there was like a longer assembly kind of Frankenhooker, because I could imagine with the pace of how everything's packed in, as far as like what we're referring to in the last 25 or so minutes, I imagine there's like more stuff that was filmed and maybe just had to be cut for making the movie like releasable. But it'd be definitely be cool to discover more footage there. Gary, have you had a chance to talk about Frankenhooker yet?
Not yet, really. You guys are going, and that's fine too. Um, I stopped explaining Frank Henenlotter a long time ago, as far as like logic, reason, plot, all the above. Um, worst fat suit in a movie probably since Nightmare Sisters, because Michelle Bauer wasn't fat either, but they stuffed her shirt with like insulation or somewhere what they put in there. It was something really stupid. But anywho. I like the plot of this, but like Venom says, but they don't get to the Frankenhooker stuff until the last 30 minutes. Um, Zorro the Pimp is a hero of mine. But Mustachio Gentleman really cares about his hose, but more about his money because his mind is in his money, his money's in his mind, and
I want a movie where Zorro and Tony the pimp from Demons team up.
Too much machismo in one movie.
I have a mental erection right now just thinking about that. Yeah. They both got to wear those white suits, though.
Yes.
Yes. To make the duo really work really well. Yeah, I lost logic and Henenlotter when I saw, I think it's Basket Case 3, where he does the homage to 101 Dalmatians. It's Belial's girlfriends have your babies. And I'm like, yeah, that tracks. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah,
That's a
this was
fever dream of
wacky.
a movie.
Yes, indeed. This one's wacky though. I love it. I love Patty, somebody with no acting experience, just really owning the part and did just be real simple stuff. And I think the smartest thing in the film is like working muscle memory in a way into the plot to where she's got different parts. So she starts breaking off into tangents of speaking like the other women do, and it doesn't make a lot of sense, but the fact that it's in there as far as like, hey, she has these parts. You always hear about when people get like limb replacements, like you got the phantom limbs, and you in horror films are heavy with this. The guy that loses an eye, sees the visions of the killer or whatnot. This it takes to another level, obviously, but it's the only real flaw of the movie is not in the Frankenhooker, but in the whole idea of them feeling too long. I think if Frank didn't want his movie to be 75 minutes, I guess that's why he dropped all this stuff in the movie, as far as like taking time to measure the body parts and telling you all about it, yada, yada, yada. Essentially, you need 90 minutes for a movie to make it releasable. Frank knows this. Anytime I see Shapiro Glickenhaus on a front of a film, I know I'm getting high quality. Um, Studio that gave us Black Roses for sake. Come on now.
House, man. He's one of my favorite directors too. Exterminator. Like
Exterminator, McBain. It's all gravy, man. And I love that thing in this movie too. Is that Mr. Glickenhaus was a part of it, and gives Frank money to make these fucking crazy ass fucking movies. And Frank's like, I got you. I'm gonna make some strange ass shit that nobody can really explain. I'm gonna make it dirty. I'm gonna make it funny, and I'm gonna make it good and make it with guerrilla filmmaking and exploding prostitutes. And I'll explain the super crack thing, people. Okay, why there was no blood because super crack. I come up with a lab myself. Seriously, but not really. Solderizes the hookers as they explode. So that's my explanation of why there's no blood. So there's that. Uh, Again, don't explain Henenlotter. He will explain you, um, in anything, because it's all wacky, and I can't explain it, so I'm not gonna try. So solderize your dead prostitutes, and make them explode good, and it won't leave behind a blood puddle. It just explodes the parts. It's beautiful, and I think the guy one John was famous. I forget how that works, but I love the part where his head comes off and it lands in somebody's hands. I forget who is it. Is still talking. It's like, oh, that was lovely, or some shit like that. He says, and it makes me laugh. It gives me the giggles. So a lot of this film gives me the giggles because it's all kinds of silly and stupid. So that's Frankenhooker in a nutshell for me. I'm good now. See, yeah.
And another great portrayal of New York and New Yorkers is the scene where the head goes through the window, lands in a trash can, and we see multiple people walk by and not even react. I mean, that is old New York to a T. I didn't see nothing. I don't know nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you want to get an accurate depiction of old New York, it's people's general indifference to like everything going on around them. They're too busy, they're too much in a rush, they don't care. Get out of their way.
So you're just a severed head. I don't care.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
All right. Well, I think we had a successful double feature, which means even more since it was my picks.
My thoughts on Frankenhooker
are as follows. Go ahead, Derek.
of course. Flashbacks. Anyways, Frankenhooker, purple nipples. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh man. So does that mean Elizabeth is a lesbian at the end of the movie?
Yeah, I don't know. I think like it's kind of like that weird, like, hey, you want to make me better? I'm going to make you better.
See, and that's one of the things that I've always kind of been on the fence about. Like, did Elizabeth do what she needed to do to save Jeffrey, or did she just do the same thing to him that he did to her as a form of revenge? Because she's such a bright like personality. Like even when she literally quotes him and says, "Oh, I may have gone a little overboard" or whatever, it comes off as so innocent. Like her voice, her mannerisms, it doesn't seem like there's any like vindictiveness to what she did, but some of the things that she says sounds like they might be vindictive. So I don't know. Again, like Gary says, you don't try to explain Henenlotter, but yeah, it's one of those things that always kind of left me scratching my head.
The one thing that I always wanted when I watched this movie is kind of like a scene like they did in Brain Damage, which kind of expands the universe where, you know, Frankenhooker takes in the same universe as like Basket Case and Brain Damage, where you might have like a cameo from another character.
Oh, imagine Elmer in Frankenhooker.
Oh,
yeah, imagine like they have like a train scene.
Yeah, you do get Belial and what do you call it in Dwayne in the train scene.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite scenes of Brain Damage. Like I love that, like their world building shit. The Lauder universe, as I call it.
Henenlotter's New York.
Yeah,
love it.
The Lauder.
Weird thing, like one little fact, Mike, one of Mike's favorite fucking movies, Child's Play. This is the score is done by the same guy who did the score for Child's Play, Joe Renzetti.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
a nice touch.
Yeah, good shit. I like it. It's a fun movie. And the main guy who plays Jeffrey, I knew him before because I saw Street Trash before this, and he's the doorman in Street Trash. He's also in
Also the Jerky Boys movie, people, if you like that kind of thing.
King of New York with fucking Christopher Walken.
That too, yeah, you're for sure.
Oh yeah, I guess I should mention that for the show I watched the 4K Synapse release of Frankenhooker, which looks absolutely beautiful with all the neon colors popping on a 4K screen. It's amazing.
How much did that fucking cost you? You don't mind me asking, because I might want to buy it eventually.
Probably too much, but I have to.
Yeah, because they some of those fucking 4Ks they put out are fucking overpriced. Like I bought the Tenebrae one for $50.
Ooh.
So yeah, you know.
Yeah, I would say a lot of them are overpriced. It's just kind of a matter of like I think for me, I think we like recently got our tax return, so me and Jen had like a fixed amount that we each had a fixed amount where it's like this is you can do whatever you want with money. So there's a couple movies that I normally would just sit on the wish list until one day they go down in price that I just said the hell with it. It's just a couple. So
yeah, no, I hear you. I do that too sometimes.
Like the other one I did that with was the Dawn of the Dead import, like that. It's either 5 or 6 disc edition because
Yeah.
I got that.
I was holding out for like the American rights to it because I was like, okay, we'll get like an American version of this edition, and just years kept going by, and it didn't happen. I was like,
It makes
well,
no fucking sense why we don't have a US 4K of that movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
So eventually,
I
I
mean,
just bought it because I was afraid that eventually it would go out of stock, and then I wouldn't be able to get it at all. So
oh, I paid the $100 to get it just because it has the Argento cut too, which one of those things that you can't find on physical media too easy.
Yeah.
I like
It's the only other
Yeah.
version that has it. It's that DVD box that Anchor Bay put out years
the
ago.
Ultimate
Yep.
Edition, I have that
Yeah.
too. I think that's the last time I bought the movie. I don't even think I had it on Blu-ray. Um,
Yeah, I had like a shitty Blu-ray, like an old Anchor Bay one. Eventually, I'll fucking buy it.
yeah, I think when I bought it, it was around $60.
Yeah, it's still relatively you can get it places.
Yeah,
I bought it at a convention, so it cost me 100, but I didn't care. It's literally my favorite zombie movie, so why wouldn't I buy it?
Hell yeah! And we got a 4K of Dawn of the Dead before. I mean, Day of the Dead before Dawn of the Dead. That's just
Yeah, that's a terrible decision, but whatever.
that's good. It's cool that they found the negative for it because we weren't gonna get it at all. You know.
Right? No, that's true.
Yeah.
all right.
Mike.
Well, yeah. In the interest of not going down our rabbit hole of how much damn money we spent on movies, because the answer is too much.
Mike drills a hole in his head to figure out if he's gonna spend money on a movie like Jeffrey did in the movie. Like, should I?
Yeah, I hope money.
Another
comes
scene
out.
with no blood in it that should have had blood. What the hell?
I know the fuck. And the whole scene where like the whole beginning and the opening, fuck. She's like, yeah, he operated on me. I'm like, what?
Is he a doctor? Well, not really.
Yeah, that's a red flag right there.
Right? Yeah, prettiest fat girl ever. I mean, because she's not fat. I agree with Gary. Worst fat suit ever. I mean, it's literally like they just dressed her in layers. They probably just gave her like 10 pairs of pants and said, "Here, put them all on." Yeah,
I'll give him this though. The doctor has some kind of character here because although he rebuilt her with prostitute parts because he needed parts from somewhere, he never thought that according to the script that she was fat at all. He just knew that he missed her that much. He was going to rebuild her.
Yeah.
So I will give the doctor that not so shallow feeling that he wasn't a shit about it.
Hey, love is blind, man. Love is blind, and thank God, because I mean, I was at least 115 pounds heavier when I got married. Mrs. Venom was at least 60 pounds heavier when we got married. So, yeah, sometimes you do the opposite. It seems like the trend is get married, get happy, get fat. We did the opposite. I mean, we're still happy. We're just losing weight, thankfully.
And now, granted, she again worst fat suit ever or fat stuffing ever. So yeah.
Exactly. Prettiest fat girl ever.
Penthouse pet Patty Mullen, who's stuffed with stuffing in this movie, or something.
And that fucking lawnmower, like who built that? Fucking the dad from Gremlins?
Oh, man.
Right?
Now this movie's played on cable a ton when I was a kid. Moving with Richard Pryor. Randy Quaid is the neighbor with the massive lawnmower in that fucking movie. That's what that lawnmower reminded me of,
Yeah,
Nice.
kind of. Yeah.
Not the lawnmower from The Happening?
Or the one Blades. Blades
We
is
don't talk about The Happening.
if you haven't done Blades yet, Blades is my favorite. Probably one of my favorite Jaws ripoffs is Blades.
Oh, that movie's hilarious.
Oh, hell yeah. Blades is great. That might show up here someday.
Yeah, Jaws ripoff show.
There you go.
It's
Dude with trees.
It's Caddyshack meets Jaws about a giant lawnmower, people.
You ever see the movie Trees where it's Jaws with trees?
Oh, I haven't. I want to now. God damn it.
Yeah.
Why did you tell me of the existence of that movie? Now I have to watch it.
All right. Well, Gary, what you got coming up on Cinema Beef and anything else you may be doing?
Well, Mother's Day is coming. We decided to do a Mother's Day show, and a Father's Day show when it comes. So for Mother's Day, should be on released on Mother's Day, which is a week from today as we're recording. May the 9th. We're doing two very mother-centric films. The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, which, is a film that I've been waiting to do for a long, long time. It was a favorite of my mother's. And, Rebecca De Mornay is pretty much the model of all these Lifetime movies that we have today. And I think that's important that it produced so much trash and so much abundance that deserves to be discussed. Well, this is the granddaddy of those kind of movies. And a story about a person who just wants a baby, and she's willing to go in any way she wants to get it. And it's about Inside on the podcast. So, very motherly show, Mother's Day, love you to death, mothers, and
It's kind of a double feature and a half.
Yeah,
right
if you
there.
watch those two movies together, man, you're gonna be depressed as hell when it's over.
somebody wants to steal them babies, man. So there's that, and again, I can't wait to do this. And then after that, regularly scheduled programming is the Rebel Without a Pause month, which I've been waiting to do for a long time. Again, all this stuff is being rescheduled, and it been doing it a long time ago, where you put Elvis versus Johnny Depp with Roustabout and Crybaby, and that's motorcycles, and of course we have the skaters as for this, and Thrashing, 1986, Robert Russler, Josh Brolin in this movie, and Airborne, starring Seth Green, who so you pointed out to me looks like that singer from the Beats on the Doug cartoon show, and I can't unsee it now. Um, yes, just look that up if you're a '90s kid and you love Doug like I do.
Do.
Looks like the singer from the Beats with the long
That's
hair
awesome.
and the sunglasses. Ooh wee ooh, killer tofu.
I love Airborne too. It's a great movie.
Airborne was a freaking cable giant. I watched it a lot, so I'm looking forward to torturing Suzanne by making her watch it and uh calling her bra the whole time because that's the thing in that movie. But yeah, Seth Green, young Jack Black, young Michael Pena in that movie.
Michael
Uh
Pena.
yes, very young Michael Pena in that movie. And I'm looking forward to all this fucking garbage and might be a bonus one in there somewhere for Suzanne to hate too. And I think it's gonna be cool as ice because she deserves it and deserves ditching a zero and giving with a hero. I'm just gonna throw it out there. That's a surprise coming, but it's not a surprise anymore. The cat has left the bag. I'm gonna make Suzanne watch Cool as Ice, probably shit based, but not at my house. So there's that.
Do. Ice, baby.
Good stuff. And excellence, it's a film that's shot incredibly well. Who the censor?
Sweet. Derek, you got anything going on?
Yeah, we just recorded the new episode of Creature Comfort. It should be out in a few days, or maybe before the show comes out. Who knows? Where we talked about 1994's Mosquito, starring Gunnar Hansen, Ron Ashton, directed by Gary Jones. Fun movie, interesting acting. Spoiler, but good stuff. If you want to see Gunnar Hansen with a chainsaw kill mosquitoes, check it out.
Cool. Venom, what do you want to list off?
Pretty much the same thing. Creature Comforts, episode 49. We're one episode away from our first milestone. So look out for our milestone episode in May. We do have something planned, but I'll keep it under my hat for now. Episode 49 should be available as you listen to this episode. I should have it. I'm done editing it. I'm just working on artwork and show notes right now, which, literally I can do in like 10 minutes. So should be out when you listen to this. And like Derek said, we looked at 1994's Mosquito, just a fun, don't take it too seriously creature feature from the early 90s. And as I discuss on that show, I kind of like movies like that. So I even bring up a couple of other examples of movies like that I had been watching at the time. So yeah, look out for that one. And that's pretty much it. Fresh cuts, obviously, every week. Latest episode will be Hokum. Last episode was I already forgot. So maybe
Exit
Michael
8.
remind us. What is it? Oh, Exit 8. That's right. Exit 8. That's right, because we weren't gonna do that movie originally. So yeah, that's why I forgot. So yeah. Exit 8 based on the video game. So check out that episode as well if you want to find out our thoughts on a weird Japanese I don't know. I dare not call it a time loop movie, but it's a loop of some kind. So yeah, you make your own decision after you watch it. But yeah.
Oh, I know I mentioned it in the chat. I'm not sure if you saw it, but I did finally manage to get through an actual full run finally.
Nice.
One
Yeah,
time.
I did see that. I just haven't had it. I haven't even played it again since the last time we talked about it.
Yeah, I had to, for whatever reason, on the run that I played, I think there were 6 anomalies and most of them were pretty obvious. And then 2 times I just had to take a leap of faith that there were no anomalies and it worked out. And then the ending, like what happens at the end happens. So I
A lot
won't
of
even
video
say,
game
but
horror movies this year.
yeah.
Yeah, most not great, but some are pretty good.
Well, we got Mortal Kombat next week, so that's all that matters.
I mean, yeah, one that it's funny. I have a love-hate relationship with Mortal Kombat movies. I absolutely adore the video game. It's my first tattoo. Literally, the day I turned 18, I got the Mortal Kombat logo on my left calf. And I mean, I genuinely love that franchise. Now, the movies, that's something else completely. So
Yeah, it's totally different, but
yeah, I mean,
I'm kind of
obviously,
excited.
I enjoyed elements of the last one, but I didn't like the fact that they created a character to be the main character. It's like you've literally got 30 years of lore at your disposal with about what, like 60 different characters, and you decide to create one for the movie, and it was the most lame, stupid character ever. So yeah,
and it's not anything for that actor too. It's just that
no, not at all. I like that
yeah,
actor. No, it's just
yeah.
that
I
character was
agree,
dumb.
but I agree with you.
Yeah.
But I think that the filmmakers actually listened to a lot of those complaints, and
at least yeah, the trailer looks that way, because the trailer looks like it's back to the core, like whatever original 7 or 8 characters, which I'm looking forward to.
And they're doing
yeah.
what I always wanted, making Johnny Cage the main character of the movie.
And honestly, I mean, it's either Johnny Cage or Liu Kang. Those are the only 2 characters that make sense to be the main protagonist of a Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah.
So they've already done Liu Kang, so now we're getting Johnny Cage. So I'm looking forward to it. And I love Carl Urban. So
yeah, that's another plus. Like I love him.
Exactly. Billy Butcher is Johnny Cage. So I'm
fucking
excited.
Judge Dredd.
The good Judge Dredd. That's right.
Doom Guy. He was Doom Guy.
I forgot he was Doom Guy. That's right. Shit. Wow. Yeah, he's done a lot.
Yeah, it's great.
All right.
So let's get out of here.
Gary, thank you a ton for joining us in hell for this episode.
Yes, thank you guys. And I will say there are worse things in the Mortal Kombat film, and that's James Remar as Raiden. And it's not great in comparison.
But I kind of want the 4K still for the interviews with all the actors in that movie.
I would hope they got paid well, and they were stoned
because they got the lady who plays Sindel to do an interview. You will die.
Oh wow! Did they get Brian Thompson though? Yeah, that's
I think they did,
because they should, because he deserves to be loved, and he's doing more conventions now. So I can't wait to talk to him about his portrayal as the evil wizard in Dr. Mordred, because if you ever seen him before, that movie has stop motion dinosaur animation. It has Brian Thompson in a cape and a coif of hair.
Jeffrey Combs in a cape.
Yes, a beautiful coif of hair in that freaking movie. And yeah. Mortal Kombat, test your might, all this stuff,
Yeah, plus they got, like, even with the new one, sorry to keep nerding out, they actually got the guy from the Immortals to do the soundtrack again.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Whose picks are up next?
I think it's Venom's next.
Is it me? And I have no idea what I'm going to pick, so I got to think about it.
All right. Well, with that, we are going to descend back into the lake of fire. Thanks everyone for listening to another episode of No More Room in Hell. We will be back with episode 75 in due time. Let's say bye to our listeners.
Want a date?
Bye to the listeners.
Got any money?
Looking for some action?
Peace.